Hey, what's up, everyone? It is time for our football recruiting report with our recruiting insider, Otis Kirk. And we've got a couple of guys to talk about today. We're going to start things off with Joshua White, a defensive end, and he's actually a teammate of an Arkansas commit.
Rashad Dubonine, his
Mhm.
teammate down at Ellenwood Cedar Grove High School in Georgia. Four-star, just like Rashad is. He's down to 6 schools, going to make a commitment basically any time now. It's between Arkansas, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Ohio State, Mississippi State, and Nebraska. He is 6'5", 248 pounds. What I like about Joshua is the fact that he wins the one-on-one battles. He makes life tough for offensive tackles. So they line him up on the left side, they line him up on the right side. There, they flip him on the defensive line, and it doesn't matter if he's going against the other team's left tackle or right tackle. He really wins the battles. I saw him getting triple team one time and still make a play. So I mean, he's wherever he goes, he's going to have a big impact. He's the number 139 player in the top 300 with ESPN.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's among the best players in the country. And just, he's the type of kid, if you get him, you've really got something there. I mean, the fact that you can build defensive lines around kids like that. And those are legit offers he's got. He's got a lot more offers than those 6. Those are the 6 he narrowed it down to.
All right. And Faizon Wilson is the next guy, a wide receiver out of Texas, but the Longhorns are not in his top three, but it looks like Arkansas is.
Well, they were his commitment. He was committed to them at one time, but here's what happened: Lancaster hired his. I mean, he's from Lancaster, but Texas hired his high school coach, so he can't go to Texas. So he's now looking at Arkansas, Alabama, and Ole Miss. And Coach Guyton
Mhm.
talked to him this week before he announced his top 3 over the weekend, and he's playing 7-on-7 this weekend. And heard he had Alabama socks on, so I don't know what that means, but probably nothing, to be honest with you. These kids do that all the time. But he's 6'4", 210. And he's a 4-star, but here's the deal. As weird as this sounds, he's gonna be recruited as much for his potential as what he's done so far. It's not that hasn't done much. Their closest game during the regular season at Lancaster, the closest game they had was 40 points. They beat a team 47-7 and 61-20. That was the closest game. So they didn't play their starters very long.
Yeah.
They got beat in the second round of the state playoffs by Longview. It's 6'4", 210. He's a kid that's going to offer a big target for wherever he goes. All the schools want him, and it's just that he doesn't have got his big time stats right, real ungodly stats right now because he played on a team that's stacked, and
Yeah.
so but he is he wins the one-on-ones. He gets out there, his size, he offers you a big weapon against those smaller defensive backs, and so any of these schools would love to have him. He's friends with Keyshawn Jackson and
Mm.
Jaden Wilson, so that doesn't hurt Arkansas's
Yeah.
chances there. And what I understand, Coach Stepp was recruiting him very hard, but Coach Guyton may be recruiting him even harder than Coach Stepp was. And so they really want this kid, and he's an important part of what they're trying to do. And as I said, it's going to be between Arkansas, Alabama, and Ole Miss.
Let's talk about a guy out of Mississippi, Bryson Hurst, four-star offensive tackle. And it looked like you got a chance to talk with him about his
Yeah.
virtual visit that he had.
Well, this is weird because every kid we're talking about on the first 3 here are 2022, and they're all 4-stars. And
Mhm.
I'd love to see Bryson Hurst go from Mississippi go against Joshua White. That would be a match made in heaven. I mean, that would be 2 giants going at each other.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. Bryson has got offers in he's got a bunch of offers, but in the SEC, it's Arkansas, Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Missouri. Some of the schools outside the SEC are Florida State, UCF, and Oregon, and he's got others, but those are some of the top schools that have offered him. There's going to be more. This could be a fight between the Florida State, the Mississippi schools, and Arkansas for him. Now, other schools could get involved and will get involved, and it could muddy the water a little bit. But he hasn't started narrowing it down. But what I like about him is he if you watch his film, Tara, what you see is he's equally good at run or pass blocking. He can come off the line. It's 6'6", 340. He can come off the line and dominate you. If
Hmm.
he gets you locked in, you're done. But he also got really good feet for his size and can pass block extremely well. Got good hand, moves well for his size, for his age and size. 11th grade and be 6'6", 340. He's really got good size. I mean, he's got good athleticism for
Yeah.
someone that big and that young. Some school is going to get a big time player right there.
Let's take a look at the 2023 class, though. Wide receiver Quentin Thomas out of Georgia, and looks like the Hogs are his first SEC offer.
Yeah, he's got a small school offer, and then Arkansas is his first Power 5 offer. But yeah, I talked to him this week. He's 6'2", 200, and he had 19 catches or 300 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Mhm.
But what happened was he's from Georgia.
Mhm.
What happened was his quarterback got hurt like the 4th or 5th game, so all his stats were from those games, and so he felt like he could have put up more stats. But I mean, hey, he's a sophomore. He's 6'2", 200, got good size. They line him up in the backfield. They'll line him up in the slot. They'll put him out on the out on the edge on line. They use him for different ways at that school. They use him pretty well, and they get him the ball. And like I said, when the quarterback was healthy, they were figuring out different ways to get him the ball. And so, just early in his video highlight, you could see him lined up in the backfield like a back, and he ran a little pattern out, and then went up, and they found him out of the back of the end. Out of the backfield for a touchdown. And then, of course, his size, he's got really good speed, and I don't know why he doesn't. Well, he's in 10th grade, but I don't know why he doesn't have more offers. But I can promise you, schools are going to start offering this kid. So many times, and I talked to Caden Henley about this last week. He got his first offer. We've been talking about him, and by the way, he got offered by New Mexico. Sometimes that first offer is the hardest one to get, Tara,
Yeah.
because it's like, if you don't have any offers, these schools, I'm serious, they look at it and they think, well, nobody's offered him. So, what am I missing here, But once somebody offers him, then other schools come in. And that's what's going to happen to Quentin Thomas. Arkansas offered him. Now other schools are going to start offering him. And plus, it's junior year. If his quarterback's back healthy, if he's got a quarterback getting the ball, he's going to put up some big time stats. Because, like I said, the coach does a really good job of figuring out ways to utilize him and get him the ball and put him in different situations. Don't just line him up. So many times you see a receiver like that, the coach doesn't really have imagination. They just put him out there at one spot, and they, or maybe put him in motion. No, they find different ways to line this kid up to confuse the defense, and it worked. And so I like him. I think he's a good player. He loves Arkansas. And he's going to visit Arkansas, but like I said, this is a long ways off.
Yeah.
He's going to get more offers, but he's from Georgia. But we'll see where it leads. But I think he's one of those kids I think could have some loyalty to the fact that Arkansas offered him first. Some kids that means something, and other kids it doesn't mean that much. I think he's a kid that it could mean. He didn't tell me that. I just got that from talking to him. I think that could mean something. Doesn't mean he's going to have loyalty to the fact that he's going to come into Arkansas because they offered first. But I do think it carries some weight with him. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. We'll see if Arkansas kind of started a trend, and wait and see who else comes after Quentin Thomas. But that's going to do it for our recruiting report. Otis, thanks for the insight. We'll talk to you again next week.
You bet. Thanks, sir.